Good day, sea legend, and my name is Sir Tecklin. Hope you are doing well. So today, I actually do have a topic in mind, and I know that's surprising. I actually have something in mind for once. Again, I still don't have a script. Bro, can you imagine once I actually make like a scripted video? Because that will happen at some point. I just don't know when I'll get to it, but I'll make sure to do that at some point. But no, today I have an idea in mind, but I don't have a script still. So today's topic is differences. Having a difference from another. And when it comes to differences, well, oddly enough, things have been quite different. So I won't lie, I love differences, but differences, as a lot of people can agree, can be scary. And history has shown that people don't react to differences. I apologize for my starting. My brain is recovering from some things, but people don't always reply to differences well, and that is why I find scary. But humans, and honestly just things in general, any species, because you can find this with any species: ants, dolphins, fish, whatever, it doesn't matter, there's always some kind of difference. And with humans, well, we are very unique when it comes to the animal kingdom. We are very special in the way how we act with the world in general. The way how we act impacts the world in a way that is a lot more heavy than any other animal. So with that, how we treat each other is very important because it changes how we treat the world. When it comes to differences, there are a ton of differences. From how one looks, to how one thinks, to what one believes, to even just how the body works, from how they're born as. There's so many ways you make a different person different that it's actually kind of absurd. And that's crazy, isn't it? You can go and judge a person off any difference, but what does that matter? Differences are really cool. The reason why differences are cool, because unless you've seen that before, you have no idea that was even possible. I have a rare. Now, this will be my own little personal topic of and why I'm studying, but actually, I have my own rare disease where I have non-epileptic seizures. It is a rare condition called functional neurological disorder. It causes non-epileptic seizures and a lot of other things, and it sucks to live with. But the difference of just that in most seizures, when people don't just typically see seizures as seizures, and also even they know about epileptic seizures, they still don't really know about non-epileptic seizures and a lot of other things. That difference, well, that is still a pretty big difference. But if you didn't know that there even were differences, if you see a epileptic seizure and my seizure, well, they both just look like a seizure to you, or mine don't even look like seizures to you because you've never seen it before. Out of 100,000 people, like, and this is like estimate, like in if you had 100,000 people, only 11 people would have the same condition I have. Think about that. Now imagine being in a place, but I can't say room. I don't know any room that's. They're part of stadiums. Imagine a stadium filled with people, and only 11 people in that stadium have this condition. Unless they told you, you probably wouldn't realize. Unless you saw it, you would see something's wrong, and you might not even realize that. But what's the difference? What's the matter? Well, it matters quite a bit, doesn't it? Now, one thing with difference that why people react so weirdly to it, in my opinion, is well, it's hard to understand, and not everyone wants to do something that is hard, and understanding is quite difficult. Imagine going back to when you were in school, or you are in school. Imagine thinking about doing schoolwork. That's not something that's fun or easy to do. That's difficult. That takes a long time to do, and even when you're done with it, you're still tired, but you have to do it again tomorrow. That does not sound fun, does it? No. Why? Why would it? But if you could understand the differences of someone else, then after all that time, you might even meet someone else with differences. Even if you don't have it, you can meet someone with a difference and be like, "Hey, I actually know about this, and can one, is it actually like this? And two, what's your experience? But also, this is what I already know of it. And then this is probably something different from them that you have, and you now exchange knowledge. I it's it's fascinating to me. Honestly, when it comes to this subject, I want to be very careful on how I touch on it because it's very sensitive. So with every word I'm saying, I want to be very careful with it because it's not easy. It really isn't. Differences from people aren't easy. We all have differences, but we can notice each other's differences, but also not like react to them in a certain way. Then we can adapt better. But that's not always easy. That's easier said than done. I am African American. Hi. I don't know if you noticed, but yeah, I'm African American. Because of my condition, um, I had a caretaker with me for a period of time, and he was African. Now, if you just look at both of us, without knowing, well, we both have dark skin tone, so we could look the exact same to you and don't know the difference. But he's not just African; he's from Ghana. Africa is Africa is a huge place. Most of my audience, I imagine you're probably American, and we know the world's big, but I don't think we realize how big the world actually is. Yes, we can say Africa and think, oh yes, it's Africa, but that is a huge landmass. What part of Africa? If someone said I'm from America, well, yes, you're from America, and we can tell you're American, but what part of America? If you're from New York, that's not going to be the same as someone living in Ohio, someone living in Georgia. If someone lives in California, they're not going to live the same way as someone lives in Florida. They're completely different. But does that different means there's a problem? No. Actually, that's wonderful because now we can go exchange things. One thing I love is two things: food and clothing. Clothing. Whoa, you can look at my clothes right now. This is not American. Not at all. This is Japanese. Some of you probably know, some of you probably don't know. Kimono. Now, some of you probably look at me like, well, you're not Japanese. Why are you wearing kimono? Why can't I wear it? It's not like I'm disrespecting it. It's not like I'm just treating it as another object. No, I actually treat my clothes and my things very highly. So, and also another thing that's also very important when understanding differences in things like clothing and food. History is still very important. So knowing the history of it is a way to show respect for it. You can like something because I'm sorry, someone's sneezing outside. That distracted me. But you can like something because a lot of people like music. A lot of people like hip hop, and a lot of African Americans get mad because other people come into hip hop like, oh, you're appropriating. Okay, from African American standpoint, I can understand where you're coming from, but also I can understand just enjoying because you enjoy it. You don't need to know the full history, but if you take time to learn the history, I would appreciate that even more because it shows, yeah, you like this not just because it sounds good, but because you actually respect the culture of it, where it came from. I love learning. I hope I never stop learning. The day I stop learning and become closed minded, I will be disappointed in myself. So, if you future of me is watching this, I hope I hit something in you. Understanding another person's differences is not easy. It's like trying to learn a new language. It's not easy. It's difficult. Anyone that has tried to learn a new language can tell you it It's extremely difficult. It's frustrating. It takes a lot of time. But once you get it, you actually start. You get a certain feeling. I don't know how to explain the feeling, but it's a good feeling. You get a sensation and like, wow, yeah, I can understand. I enjoy chess, and chess is a game where you don't need to talk to your opponent to understand them. I've been playing on chess.com since 2021. I've been playing chess before that, but that's when I started playing on chess.com. And this year, I started playing with a, a Frenchman, an old man in France. And we've been talking, like, we talk a lot. Now, I study French in first grade, but I don't really know French that well. Sometimes when I'm talking to him, I mess up words or my sentence is not fully proper in French because it doesn't translate the same way how we translate in English. But being able to talk to him in French and hearing what he says back, it makes me really happy because I can understand. Understanding another person's differences gives a good feeling to both people. Now, trying to force someone to understand or just forcing something on someone is always gonna make one party feel some kind of way, no matter which way you go. And it's difficult because you don't always realize when you're forcing something. And that is, how do you deal with that problem? How do you deal with that issue? How do you deal with an issue that when you don't realize there is an issue? No one likes causing issue. And people that do, those are people to be cautious of. If you enjoy causing issue, there's an issue in that in itself, but also there's probably something deeper to that. Why do you cause issue? But that's not what this video is about. So no one enjoys causing issue, but everyone likes having things a certain way. Well, you can't have things your way, then you want to find a way to make things your way. Okay, how do you do that? Now, everyone has their own way, and I'm not here to elaborate or get into that. But it's such a difficult subject to talk to touch on and talk about. And honestly, I would love to hear your input in this in the comments. But understanding, understanding is extremely important. But understanding is not an easy task. It's not an easy thing to do. When this is a story I remember, and I need to go back to the story to make sure it's actually right or not. But this is a story I remember. I don't remember where I heard the story. When a African first went to Japan, the first time the Japanese saw a person of dark skin, they couldn't believe it because, well, they all have a lighter skin tone. Seeing someone with skin this dark, well, you don't look like you're actually that dark to them. You just look dirty. So they had that person bathe multiple times. The emperor had that person bathe multiple times, and then they saw he was still that dark. Now, at first, I might just seem like really rude because we're saying, "Oh, you're dirty." Okay, yeah, that does sound pretty rude. But also, that's a difference that they couldn't understand. That was not the mean to be rude. They generally did not understand. Once they understand, they treated it differently. Now, still, I don't know how Japanese treat how Japanese treat darker people in general when it comes to Japan now or that at that time. But also, from what I know, it's not that big of a deal. This one might be like, oh, you're still foreign, which, you know what? That's understandable to a degree. So, noticing a person is foreign from where you come from. Now, how you treat them might cause issue, but noticing a person is foreign in general, that's not an issue. If I went to the UK, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, he's American." Now, will they have a problem being American? No. Will someone have a problem with me being American? Maybe, but not exactly. And again, that is one person compared to how many? Numbers does matter. But everything has so much meaning and can affect things in such a major way that how do you deal with things? And that's why I enjoy talking. That's why I enjoy putting these videos up. Putting these videos up, I won't lie, they do kind of scare me because I don't know how the public will react to it. But if I can get you to at least think, which I enjoy doing, it will be worth it. Even if it puts me down in some way, it will be worth it if you can start some kind of conversation. Noticing people's differences is okay. People will be different from you. Doesn't matter who it is. You can put yourself in a room with anyone, and there'll be a difference. I have many siblings, and I look very similar to my siblings. I have similar mannerisms to my siblings. But guess what? I am still different from my siblings. Is that the problem? Is I'm different from them? No. I have friends who are completely different and have completely different views and beliefs than me. Does that mean we have issue with each other? No. This means we don't completely just believe in the same thing, and that's okay. But when someone says that's not okay, that's when things become not okay. We control the world we live in. So, with that being said, choose wisely on what world you want to live in. Whatever you give is whatever you would get back. Now, with that being said, I'm Techland LKP, and I'm out.